In the heart of the bustling city, there was a market so lively that it never seemed to sleep. Vendors shouted over one another, cars honked in the distance, and the smell of roasted fish and spices filled the air. Among the chaos stood Aunty Shade's handbag stall, gleaming like gold in the sunlight. Her handbags were unmatched, bright, stylish, and irresistible. People flocked to her, drawn to the beauty of her goods. But behind the charm of her shop lay a dark, sinister secret. Amara, a young woman fresh out of college, walked into the market one afternoon. She had just gotten a big promotion and wanted a new handbag to match her new status. The bright colors of Aunty Shade's stall caught her eye. Amara approached, marveling at the display. "You have such beautiful bags," she said. Aunty Shade smiled warmly, her gold earrings glinting. "I have just the thing for you, my dear," she said, holding up a shiny red handbag that seemed to glow under the sun. Amara touched the bag and felt an unusual tingle. She hesitated but quickly brushed the thought aside. "This is perfect," she said. Aunty Shade's smile widened as she carefully placed the bag in Amara's hands. Amara handed over her money and Aunty Shade slid it into a small wooden box behind her stall. "Good luck with your new bag," she said sweetly as Amara walked away. Unknown to Amara, a shadow from the bag seemed to follow her home. At first, Amara loved her new bag. She carried it everywhere, proudly showing it off to her friends and colleagues. But within a week, things began to fall apart. Her car broke down unexpectedly, leaving her stranded on a busy road. At work, her boss started yelling at her for mistakes she did not remember making. Then her bank account started to drain mysteriously. Amara's confidence turned into confusion and fear as her once perfect life unraveled before her eyes. Amara wasn't alone. Chike, a struggling electronics dealer, had also bought a black purse from Aunty Shade 2 weeks earlier. His shop, once full of customers, now sat empty day after day. His bills piled up and his suppliers began refusing to work with him. One evening, Chike sat alone in his darkened shop, staring at the black purse on his desk. He felt as though it were mocking him. "Why is everything going wrong?" he muttered to himself, clueless about the true source of his misfortune. Meanwhile, Aunty Shade's life flourished. Her stall expanded, her clothes grew more luxurious, and her laughter echoed through the market. She drove a shiny new car and moved into a sprawling mansion on the edge of town. People in the market whispered about her sudden wealth, but they chalked it up to her lucky hands and good business sense. No one suspected the dark power behind her success. Nkem, a former customer, returned to the market one morning after years of staying away. She had been a successful caterer before her life fell apart. Years ago, she had bought a green handbag from Aunty Shade. Shortly after her business failed, her home was foreclosed and her family drifted apart. She had always believed it was a streak of bad luck, but seeing Aunty Shade's newfound wealth stirred a feeling of suspicion deep in her heart. As Nkem wandered through the market, she noticed something strange. Many of Aunty Shade's former customers looked defeated and broken. She saw a woman who she recognized, a wealthy boutique owner who had also bought one of Aunty Shade's bags. The woman now wore tattered clothes, selling peanuts by the roadside. Nkem's unease grew stronger. Could it be connected to the bags? She whispered to herself. That night, Nkem had a disturbing dream. She saw herself holding the green handbag she had bought years ago. As she placed money inside, the bag glowed and a dark smoky hand reached out, grabbing her wealth and pulling it into the shadows. The laughter of a faceless figure echoed in the distance. Nkem woke up in a cold sweat. Clutching her chest, she couldn't shake the feeling that her dream was more than just a nightmare. Troubled by her dream, Nkem decided to return to the market and confront her suspicions. She wandered through the busy stalls, carefully observing Aunty Shade. She noticed that every time a customer handed over money, Aunty Shade placed it into the same small wooden box. The box never left her sight, and she locked it securely every time. Nkem's curiosity deepened. Determined to uncover the truth, Nkem decided to buy another handbag. She saved money for a while. She chose to buy a bright yellow handbag and paid for it. As Aunty Shade handed over the bag, Nkem felt the same strange tingle she felt years ago. Thank you, Nkem said, trying to sound casual as she walked away. Aunty Shade could not recognize her because most of her customers come only once. But she did not go far. She stayed close, pretending to browse other stores while keeping an eye on Aunty Shade. That evening, Nkem followed Aunty Shade from a distance. She watched as Aunty Shade closed her store, collected the wooden box, and walked briskly toward a deserted alley at the edge of the market. Nkem hid behind a wall, her heart pounding as Aunty Shade disappeared into a hidden building. What is she hiding? Nkem wondered. The next day, Nkem gathered some former customers of Aunty Shade she recognized from the market because most of them had also been market sellers. They had also experienced sudden misfortune. She shared her suspicions with them, and though they were hesitant at first, her story and dream resonated with them. I've lost everything since I bought her bag, one woman said, her voice trembling. They decided to confront Aunty Shade together. Before confronting Aunty Shade, Nkem visited her church. She shared her story with the pastor, who prayed with her and gave her a small bottle of holy water. Use this to reveal the truth, he said. Nkem left the church feeling a mix of fear and determination. She and the group planned their next move. That evening, Nkem and her group followed Aunty Shade again. This time, they crept closer to the building and peered through a crack in the door. What they saw shocked them. Aunty Shade was performing a ritual, chanting strange words while arranging the money from her wooden box in a circle. The handbags on the shelves glowed faintly, and the shadows danced around the room. The group gasped in horror as they realized the truth. Aunty Shade's bags were cursed. They were stealing the fortune of her customers and transferring it to her. Nkem's hands trembled as she whispered, "We have to stop her." The next day, Nkem and the group returned to the market. Armed with holy water and courage, they pretended to browse Aunty Shade's stall, sprinkling holy water on the bags and the wooden box when Aunty Shade wasn't looking. Suddenly, the bags began to smoke, and Aunty Shade let out a terrified scream. Shadows erupted from the bags, twisting and writing as the holy water broke the curse. The group stepped back, watching as the shadows vanished into the air. The glowing handbags dimmed, and the wooden box cracked open, spilling its contents. Aunty Shade's wealth disappeared before her eyes. Her fancy clothes turned into rags, and her sparkling jewelry crumbled into dust. She fell to her knees, sobbing as her stall collapsed into ruins. "It's over," Nkem said. Her voice was very firm. As the curse broke, the stolen fortunes returned to Aunty Shade's customers. Nkem felt a warmth in her chest as hope returned to her heart. The market buzzed with whispers as people realized what had happened. Aunty Shade fled the market, never to be seen again. The market slowly returned to life, and Nkem became a hero for her bravery. She reopened her catering business, this time with a newfound sense of purpose and gratitude. The story of Aunty Shade became a cautionary tale, reminding everyone the dangers of greed. Over time, Nkem's story spread throughout the city. People admired her courage and the way she had uncovered Aunty Shade's sinister deeds. Former customers who had suffered misfortune began to rebuild their lives. They returned to their businesses and their families started to thrive again. The market was filled with smiles and laughter once more. Vendors treated their customers with kindness, inspired by Nkem's bravery. Nkem often walked through the market, now a respected figure in the community. She noticed how different the atmosphere felt. People were more cautious about their purchases, and many vendors took extra care to ensure they earned trust. Nkem, however, remained vigilant. Though Aunty Shade had disappeared, Nkem couldn't shake the feeling that the story wasn't entirely over. One afternoon, a young woman approached Nkem as she sold her goods at a small stand she had reopened. "Thank you for what you did," the woman said, holding her child's hand. "My husband and I lost everything because of her bags, but now we've started over. You gave us hope." Nkem smiled warmly, but the gratitude in the woman's voice reminded her of how much harm had been done. She felt a renewed sense of responsibility to protect her community. Weeks later, Nkem had another dream. This time, she saw Aunty Shade wandering through another market in a distant part of the city. The dream felt so real that it woke her in the middle of the night. Her instincts told her that Aunty Shade might not have given up her dark ways entirely. Nkem decided to share the dream with her pastor, who listened intently and prayed with her for guidance. Nkem became more watchful as she moved through the city. She spoke to vendors vendors, warning them to be careful and always deal honestly with their customers. Though some dismissed her words, others took her advice to heart, grateful for her wisdom. Nkem felt a growing sense of purpose, realizing her role in helping others avoid falling victim to deceitful practices. Meanwhile, whispers of Aunty Shade's fall reached other markets across the city. Vendors in those markets began sharing stories of strange occurrences of wealthy store owners who seemed to grow rich at the expense of their customers. Some speculated that Aunty Shade wasn't the only one practicing dark rituals. These stories troubled Nkem, but they also strengthened her resolve. One day, Nkem received a visit from a group of traders from a neighboring market. They had heard of her bravery and asked for her help. "There's a seller in our market who reminds us of Aunty Shade," one of them said. "People buy from her and soon their lives fall apart while she grows richer. We don't know what to do." Nkem listened carefully, her heart sinking. It seemed the battle wasn't over. Nkem agreed to visit the neighboring market with a group of traders. As she arrived, she noticed the stall they described. It was eerie, similar to Aunty Shade's, filled with shiny, beautiful bags that seemed to glow in the sunlight. The vendor, a woman with an elegant smile, greeted her warmly, but Nkem felt the same strange tingle she had experienced before. The course hasn't ended, she thought to herself. With the help of the traders, Nkem began observing the new seller. She noted the same patterns, the locked wooden box, the mysterious rituals, and the trail of misfortune among the customers. As the days passed, Nkem prepared to take action again. She knew it wasn't going to be easy, but she was determined to stop the cycle of greed and darkness once and for all. And so Nkem's fight against the cursed handbags continued. A beacon of hope in the city haunted by shadows. Thank you so much for watching. If you got to this point, please give this video a thumbs up. It will help grow my small YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Turn on post notifications so you get notified when I post interesting content like this. Please leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know about your thoughts on my videos. If you haven't seen my previous videos, please do well to do so. My other contents are interesting as well. See you guys in my next video. Bye.